going to talk about sampling. The concept of sampling, how about simple random sampling, and then the demonstration in Excel and SPSS. Those are the topics that we are going to talk today. Sampling, in general, there are only two types, which is probability and non-probability. In details, these are going to be discussed in your research methodology class or in your statistics class. In a probability, sampling process is all based on the mathematical equations that we know as probability concept, while non-probability is ignoring the facts of the mathematical concept and used mostly based on a subjective nature. For example, in non-probability, there are like convenience sampling, in which people are going to choose the respondent based on who got the first and then until the rest of the questionnaire is taken. While purposive sampling is when the researcher is going to be directly pointing certain people as respondent, and this is a subjective matter. While snowball sampling is when the respondent will choose the next of the respondent. Others, non-probability sampling is actually available, including some of the theory also mentioning that census is also a part of non-probability sampling. How to do sampling in general? To do sampling, there are several steps. The first step is you need to determine the power of the research. In this case, the significant level and the confidence level. This number are going to be included not only in the sampling but also in the testing of the data in another topic that we are going to discuss. And this is going to be a very basic and foundation steps in order to discuss about the analysis in quantitative. The second step is we need to find all information about the population. We need to know whether the population is known or unknown. If it's known, we can approach using significant level and confidence level, and using also the error that we need or we want by using several formula. For example, Slovin. We also notice some of the population is unknown. Usually, many industries such as service industry is having this kind of population. Therefore, we need another approach in order to get the population become the sample. One of the famous equation or formula can be used is Lamb-Shaw. But also there is another approach from Uma Sekaran and also from Hare regarding about this topic. Next step is we are having to decide the number of the sample. Deciding number of sample is not easy. We need to do the careful calculation based on the significant level, and we also need to determine whether the population is known or unknown. One of the applications that we can use in helping us is using sample power by SPSS. Or we can also do it manually. After we have the number of the sample, we have to decide the method of the sampling, whether it's going to be totally probability or non-probability. Actually, when we talk about significant level, this is already approach for probability method. But because of service industry sometimes it's going to be unknown, sometimes the approach is altered from probability into a non-probability method. After we have all this information available, all we have to do is to design the detail of data collection process. This is the application that I previously say, which is IBM SPSS sample power, for example. This is also can be used to calculate the number of samples. Let's take a look at probability sampling much closer, because this is where we can use application such as SPSS to do the probability sampling. Probability sampling can be starting from simple random sampling, can be developed into a systematic random sampling, can be developed into stratified random sampling, and also clustered random sampling. Those methods are not going to be discussed here. We are going to look directly only to simple random sampling. And this is become important because the other sampling of random is actually basic from this method. We are going to look from the table of random number, and also we can also do it automatically using applications such as SPSS or Microsoft Excel. Let's take a look at this example. This is a data about a customer visit and perception of service. The perception of service is being taken using Likert scale. Number of visit is considered as a ratio, and name of customer is based on the name that is being taken from the respondent. And we have around 50 sample, and we have decided in our research that we need only sample of 45. For example, yeah, this is based on the calculation. So we have sample which is 50, and based on according to calculation lah, for example, we are going to have 45 sample. So we need to remove 5 using random sampling. Okay, how to use simple random sampling here? So this is a random number table. Let's zoom out. This number is actually random, so we can choose from any kind of number. So how to use this table random number is basically also by using random approach. For example, we can use our mouse or our hand, fingers for example, and then we choose randomly by closing our eyes a certain number. For example, in this case, I stop my mouse here and I got the number 80188. Let's take a highlight of that. (80188). From previous case, we want to find 45 of sample out of 50. So in random number, we already get these are the list of the population. Need to be remember that simple random sampling is need the data of the population list. So in this case, this is already available for simple random sampling. So what we can do is, if we are going to do this manually, we are going to choose 45 out of 50. Yeah. So we can write here respondent. So we choose starting from 80188 because the total number is 2 digit, yeah, 50. So we have also choose 2 digit. In this case is 80. And we notice that 80 is not the number that we have because we only have 1 to 50. So we have to go to the next step, which is this one, 78. This is also no number of us. We have 29, the next one. So we have to write down 29. This is our first respondent. And then the second respondent is 27. And 16. 27. 16. Maybe the question is where is the next number? So we move to this area and we get 62, the second row after the one that we are choosing. And then 62 is not available. 84 also not available. 56 is not available. 91 is not available. 45 is available. So we have 45. And then 25. 96 is not available. 25. And then we have also 21. Yeah. And so on. Of course, we need to find all of this number until we get the 45 respondent. So this is respondent number 1. And then we have to do this continuously until we have the respondent number 45, sorry. Okay. So because we already have 29, so we know that our first respondent, number 29, is Rona Rizzo. Let me go and then put numbers, yeah, so to be clear. Insert number. So we have 29. 29 is this one. Rizzo. And so on until 45. I'm not going to continue this because we are going to look at the different approach, yeah, which is automatic. So that is about the manual. Now let's see automatic one. We are going to copy the same data. Then we put into another sheet. But we are going to remove the coloring because we need another sample. Yeah, so we already have this. We have the same case, which is n equal to 450, and then sample equal to 45. This is our number, so we need to get this number. So manually, we can use random number table. But when we are going to automatically do this, how? How we can do this? So we can click data. We can choose data analysis. And then we choose sampling. We click OK. We take the input number. And we choose from this number to this number as our sampling input, and then you click label because you have number as the label, and then we choose random number, random sample, which is 45. Yeah. And then we are going to put the output range just not far from this area. So I think this one is the best one. and everything is set, so we can click OK, and you already get your respondent. Sorry. This respondent. So we already have the number of the respondent chosen by data analysis sampling. So now we are going to find the name for this respondent. So we can use VLOOKUP, which is equal to VLOOKUP, and then you know the lookup value is this column, and then we put the table array, which is this area. Don't forget to put some F4. Because later you must copy this equation, so you don't want this formula, so you don't want to mess up with that. And then we have the column index number is number 2, and then we want exact result, so we choose false. Down. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, we already have the name, so we just copy. So you see already the problem with this is sometimes Excel will choose the same name several times. For example, in this case, this name is being used in the same time, like 3 times already. Yeah, so that is the problem by using Excel. Let's take a look how we can do this in SPSS. In SPSS, yeah, we already input the data, so we have this as the label. And then we can click data view, and then we have also the same data, name, visit, perception. So we want to choose 45 out of this 50. So what we can do, yeah, we can click data, we can click select cases, we can choose based on this. Data, cases, and then we can randomly choose exactly 45 from the first 50. So the computer will be doing the calculation using SPSS, and it's already executed. This is the output page, so we can see, go back to the first page, and then you will see, yeah, the one that is being straight through is actually not your sample. So this is your sample, number 1, 2, 3, and then so on. So this is the benefit of using simple random sampling automatically using SPSS, that you will not get any repetition out of the name. Remember that probability distribution and probability sampling also relies on the population list, so you need population list for this. Thank you very much. See you in next session.